amigos, welcome back to Sonnie's Place. I'm Emma, and today I'm going to bring you along as I harvest elderberries for the very first time. But first, we've got to get some chores done. So chores are done, all the chickens are fed, have fresh water, are as happy as they can be, and we've got some happy meat birds, happy ducks in there as well. It's a start to a good day, and now I get to go pick elderberries for the very first time on our homestead. Elderberries are actually nature's antioxidant and immune booster. People have been making elixirs and syrup from elderberries for decades and decades. This year my plan is to make our own homemade elderberry syrup to have on hand during the winter. Let's go pick some elderberries. Pretty warm today. Not too bad though, especially after the heat wave that we just had, so this isn't too bad. We're looking for our bunches where the majority are a nice dark purple, almost black color. You can tell from this one right here that it's not ready. So we're gonna give this one some more time and come back and harvest probably in another week or so. You can tell from this one we have more ripe berries. There's a few green ones in there, but this one has a large portion of green berries still. So we're gonna let that ripen and we're gonna harvest this one, and then we can pick out the green berries later on. We've got a good amount of berries. We're gonna try and hunt down some more. We've got some back here. You can see them back there. Now some of these areas are a little harder to get to just because of the overgrowth, and I don't want to be stepping in any poison ivy or anything since we're kind of out in the outskirts. I think that might be all that we're getting today. I did want to show you guys one thing in particular that I've been reading about as I'm preparing to harvest the elderberries. Is one thing to look out for is pokeberries, and there are some similarities. You can see some pokeberry back here. Pokeberries, poke cherries, I think they're also called, is considered a weed. The roots, the stems, the leaves, and the berries are toxic to humans and I believe to animals. And so, well, I know dogs in particular. I believe that birds, though, love to eat those berries. So we just leave them be but there are similarities with the elderberry. The biggest difference is that those grow on a long stem and then kind of offshoot from that, while the elderberries grow in a cluster. So that's the biggest difference between the two, but we're gonna go ahead and leave those alone, but I did want to show you guys what that is. Not bad for our first harvest. So all in all, a really good harvest of our first elderberries. Check them out. Aren't they beautiful? They're just a really beautiful, rich purple color. I love it. Again, this is the first time I've ever harvested elderberry, and you can see, look how small those are. Those are pretty cool. Once the rest of the elderberries are ready, we're gonna go ahead and harvest those and start preparing for making our first ever batch of elderberry syrup. If you don't wanna miss that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that little notification bell so you don't miss that video. The elderberry syrup I'll be making is a recipe from Megan Wolterman over at Wolterman Homestead. So stay tuned for that. I wanted to keep this video nice and short and just share with you some of the fun things that are happening here on the homestead. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm Emma from Sonnie's Place, encouraging you to grow your best life. Adios. And before we call it a day, I wanted to ask a question. We've been on this property for 7 years, and I've always thought that this is a crabapple and the crabapples are small. So if you guys know what this tree is, please let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate that.